Are we recording? Yes, I think we are. So thank you for joining me. I want to discuss what I would call the years in between. And it's all about being a parent or a grandparent, and there's a moment in that parenting phase when you suddenly find yourself quietly reclassified. No announcement, no argument, just a subtle downgrade. One day you're walking your child to school, perfectly normal activity, thousands of parents doing it, and then one morning you're apparently in the way. They don't explain it, they just walk slightly ahead of you, which is the universal signal for, please don't talk to me. Eventually they inform you, hopefully politely, that they're going on their own, not emotionally, not dramatically, just in the same tone people used to say they've switched broadband providers. Now this is part of parenting. Nobody really markets. The early years get the attention, of course. Later years get the nostalgia, but the middle bit, this middle bit gets skipped, possibly because it doesn't photograph well in marketing. It's the stretch. It's the stretch where you'll still be responsible for quite a lot, but you're going to be consulted about almost nothing. You're not central. You're not peripheral. You're just there if required. It's not that your child suddenly dislikes you. I mean, that would be even easier, perhaps. What changes is they stop needing to narrate their day to you. The walking stops, the casual chats fade out, information arrives only when necessary. Sometimes urgently, quite often late. You're still involved, you're just not included anymore, which turns out to be a thing. It's a tricky thing. And this phase feels personal, even though it isn't. It's practical. Your child is assembling a version of themselves that works in the world without supervision. And to do that, they need distance from the people who remember what they were like, what they said, and everything they'd rather forget. Distance helps with selective memory, of course. For everyone. This is where parents often struggle. They ask too many questions. They offer opinions nobody requested, and they hover in doorways, pretending to look for something. The job here, frankly, is mostly restraint. You stick around, but you don't interfere. You resist the urge to narrate your own importance, which is harder than it sounds. If you manage not to interfere too much, something shifts. They come back, not formally, not without a speech, or not with a speech mainly, I would think. They just start lingering. They sit in the same room. They talk more. They ask what you think, usually after they've already decided for themselves what they're going to do, which is fine. Which is absolutely fine, but at least now it's a conversation, not a request. That long, awkward middle section, it wasn't a mistake. It was a gap between being managed and managing yourself, between being accompanied and choosing that company, which, if we're honest, is the better version. So there's a phase of parenting where the most useful thing you can do is slightly less, maybe a lot less commentary, less presence, less urgency. You don't disappear, you just step to one side and let your child or grandchild figure themselves out, figure things out for themselves. And if it goes well, one day you'll notice something. They'll stop walking away from you. And they'll start walking alongside you again, not because they have to, but because you are deemed no longer embarrassing, which, all things considered, is a solid outcome.